What's going on, guys? My name's Lior and welcome back to my channel. Now in this video, I'm continuing my new series of my Google Map explorations of different cities / neighborhoods around the Boston area. And basically what I'm doing is, instead of giving you guys kind of an on-the-ground look at some of the cities that as I've done in my other videos on this channel, right? What I thought I would do is actually give you a Google Map tour. Now, the reason I thought I would do that is because I remember when I was buying my first place, like I would read and hear about these different cities. And then when I actually got to like researching them myself online, you know, I'd still be kind of like a little overwhelmed, right? Like I didn't know which pocket I was supposed to look in, especially if you're looking at like a Zillow map and you see different listings in different locations. Like, do I want to be in this location? Do I want to be in that location, right? So what I thought I would do is actually go through neighborhood by neighborhood and show you exactly on a map what you need to be on the lookout for, where all the key lifestyle amenities are, so it'd be helpful for you. So in this video, we're gonna do a tour of Southie and we're gonna get after it right now. What's going on, guys? My name is Lior and welcome back to my channel. Now, before we get into the meat and potatoes of this tour, two super quick things, guys. Number one, if this is your first time on my channel, first of all, welcome. Second of all, make sure you smash that subscribe button for me. I'm putting out tons of new videos every single week, giving you guys neighborhood overviews, highlights of Boston, and generally what it's like to live in Boston, as well as buy and sell homes. So if that's the kind of content you're looking for, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And second of all, guys, if you're thinking about doing anything with real estate, whether it's buying, selling, investing, leasing, whatever it may be, I still get so many calls from you guys watching my videos, and I absolutely love it. Still blows me away every time it happens. So if you're thinking about making any sort of move in Boston and it has to do with real estate, make sure you hit up me and my team and we will definitely help you out. So with that, let's hop right into this new Google Map tour series of mine. And as I said, in this video, we're gonna go into Southie, right? And I'm gonna show you guys all the different pockets, what you need to know in terms of where they're located on the map. And that way you guys can combine it with my other video, right? If you haven't seen it, I've done like an on-the-ground tour of Southie, and it'll kind of give you a good visual representation and map representation of where everything is at. So let's jump onto my computer screen and we're gonna get going. Welcome back to my Google Maps right here on my laptop. And as I said, we're gonna do a full Google tour of South Boston. So I'm gonna give you guys drive you through Google, show you all the neighborhoods, all the different little pockets of Southie. And again, if you guys are potentially searching on the map, your next place to buy or move to, whatever it is, you can kind of use this as a reference point, along with, make sure you check out my other videos where I actually go onto the street. So let's dive right into it. I've got my set of notes right here as well, so I'm ready to roll. So if you're going to go into Southie, this is obviously the highlighted district, right? Right here is South Boston. Now this right here, this top part is actually Fort Point in the Seaport. I'll touch upon that as well, but we'll kind of really concentrate on Southie. So why don't we start right over here where you cross over from the south end. And this is kind of the West Broadway T-stop right here of Southie. So we're starting right here. So this is the entrance of the Southie. Now, right as you enter into this area, you've got the new Cambria Hotel, which was just brand new build. Large, massive hotel structure with condos as well, and also has a really cool rooftop bar, 6 West. So you're going to see that as soon as you enter into Southie. Now you're going to have your West Broadway T-stop right as you enter, and basically you're going to go right onto one of the main streets of Southie, which is West Broadway. What's cool here is on West Broadway, you're going to see some pretty large buildings here. So you're going to have some large structures, large residential mixed-use buildings right in Southie. Let's see if I can find it. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So you've got, as you enter West Broadway, you've already got some commercial. Fox and the Knife, that's a great Italian restaurant. Warden Hall is another great spot. But if you got, then you're going to start having some pretty big complexes. So 50 West Broadway, for example, is a large luxury apartment building.
On the other side, if I look correctly, right here, 45 and 55, those are two large condo buildings converted from a church. So they're large structures, really, really cool inside. They kind of they retained a lot of the church's character. They have like stained glass, high ceilings, so that's very cool. So, as you go down West Broadway, you'll see a lot of kind of pretty big buildings. They've developed a lot of West Broadways as well. So this corner lot right here, right on A and West Broadway, is another large development. There's actually some rumors that there's going to be some major developments right in some of these lots as well. Not going to spoil the fun just quite yet. But basically, I'm going to zoom out. So you're going to go down West Broadway, and that's going to be, like I said, a lot of buildings, and that's going to kind of enter you right into Southie. Now, as you get towards the intersection of, you're going to see right here, West Broadway, where my mouse is, towards the intersection of East Broadway, right? This part of West Broadway right here is where you have a ton of restaurants and bars that Southie is very well known for. So you can see right here, Loco Taqueria, very, very famous spot, very, very popular spot, I should say. Fantastic margaritas, great food. I get a carry out from there quite a bit. Of course, you've got the staples like Lincoln, Capo's right here. You've got a number of other restaurants all in this area. You've got Fat Baby, which is technically on Dorchester Street. They actually opened a new restaurant right here called Hunter's, which is kind of like a southern restaurant. Stats Bar and Grill, that's kind of more like pub food and gets pretty crazy on the weekends here. So this whole area right here is there's just a lot of commercial, a lot of happening spots. You got a Cafe Nero right here. I know you got a JP Licks. You've actually somewhere here got you've got like a wine bar. I forget exactly where it is, but it's actually also very good. So this is kind of, I would say, the more quote unquote happening area of Southie. If you're going to come out for food, drinks, whatever it is, that's going to be your spot. Also along here too, you have some pretty big projects currently being built. So one that was just completed was 420 West Broadway right here. So that was actually the old Broadway Theater, which got converted into a condo project with 42 units. It's called the Mez. I've shown some units there myself. It's pretty cool. They've got some beautiful units. I mean, brand new, luxury, new construction. On the other side of West Broadway, right over here too, they've got the Blake development, right, which is on 457 West Broadway. I'm trying to see where it is. Yeah, it's right over here. Over there, I believe you've got what? You've got 44 condos. So another big condo project. You've actually got a big condo project right in the corner of West and East Broadway. So the point here is if you're gonna drive down West Broadway, it's gonna be pretty commercially heavy, right? There's a lot of development, a lot of retail, restaurants, all that good stuff. Now, what you'll notice in general about Southie too is the way the streets are configured, right? So you can see you have West Broadway, and then the way the streets work, if you look at them, you have West 1st, then you have West 2nd, West 3rd, West 4th, West 4th right here, right? And that's after you jump over West Broadway, and then you kind of go West 5th, West 6th, all the way down to, I believe, West 9th, right? So that's how the residential streets are kind of configured. You're going to have streets in between each of these numbered streets, right? So, for example, if you look at like West 4th and West 5th, you're going to have Gold Street in between. Then West 5th and West 6th, you have Bowen. West 6th, after West 6th, you have Tudor, right? So that's kind of the structure of how a lot of the neighborhood is laid out. The other big border to the neighborhood besides West Broadway you're going to see right here is Dorchester Ave. Down to Old Colony Ave and Dorchester Street. Now, with Old Colony Ave, I'd say this is the part of Southie that's kind of is starting to get very heavily developed now. There's been a couple of recent big projects there. Probably most notable for you guys to know about, and I've talked about in other videos, is the Washington Village project, right? Which is, 7 buildings, over 6 district blocks, over 700 residential units, plus retail and parking. So you can kind of tell it's going to be a massive project, and it's right on the corner of Dorchester Street and Old Colony Ave right here. I think that's going to really, really change this whole little area right here. It's going to be an absolutely massive project. So that's kind of the west side of Southie. Now, I will say too, one other note for you guys, if you decide to like think about moving here, parking in Southie is always very tough. Now, just so you know, these streets, the number streets are typically, you can have parking on both sides and they're 2-lane streets. But these smaller streets like the Bowen, the Tudors, the Gold, the Silver, those tend to be one-way streets with no parking on either side, right? So if you live on one of these streets, you are going to have to park off on a different street. You can't park on your own street. I actually live on one of those streets, and I actually kind of like it, right? Because you don't have cars flying down that street, but just to kind of give you a little bit more of a lay of the land and how everything feels. Now, you do have some pretty cool additional things to do in this part of Southie. So you can see this big green area right here is Moakley Park. It's a gigantic park, very close to this whole area. It's got baseball fields, softball fields, basketball courts, tennis courts. It's a gigantic field. Actually, in the summer, you'll see a ton of like sports. They got leagues. I was part of those over the summer. They're really fun. But it's just a awesome large green space for sports or just walking through. You'll also see right here Carson Beach right over here. Right in the summer, it gets pretty fun. A lot of people come out here. Beautiful views. So you do have beach access very close to this west side of South Boston. So that was the west side. Again, kind of this Dorchester Ave, Dorchester Street, West Broadway goes through it. So that's kind of the west side. Now let's actually talk about the east side. And the east side, as you kind of cross to the east side, over here, you can see East Broadway. East side is considered a little bit more residential and a little quieter than West Broadway, right? If you go down East Broadway, you're not going to have as big of like large mixed-use buildings or large condo and apartment buildings. The buildings on East Broadway are a little smaller. You still have plenty of retail and commercial, but they just tend to be kind of smaller buildings. So you still have, restaurants, bars, as you can kind of see on the map. Playwright Bar, you got Broadway. There's a couple of actually very good restaurants here as well. And of note too, the Stop and Shop in South Boston is right on East Broadway as well. So it definitely gets quieter as you cross over the East Broadway over to East Broadway in the east side of Southie. You do have some pretty cool kind of outdoor space, green space, if you will. Thomas Park right here is an awesome area, especially for like a walk or a jog. It's on a hill, but really you can kind of see there's a large monument right there. It's really nice. If you keep going on East Broadway, right here you've got Medal of Honor Park, which is intersection of East Broadway and M Street. Really nice park. You'll see kind of like, you'll just see people taking walks there. Really gorgeous. And again, very similar street layout as on the west side. You can see you've got East 1st, East 2nd, 3rd, cross over Broadway, and then you go to 5th, 6th, all the way down to 8th. So it's kind of very similar setup, very grid-like setup here. And of course, the big attraction with the east side is the beaches as well. So you can see right here, if you look off of Day Boulevard / Columbia Road, you're going to have L Street Beach, M Street Beach. Both of those get very popular in the summer. A lot of people come out for those. Awesome little spots, just hang out, sit on the sand. And then as you keep going east all the way towards, basically towards the water, you're eventually going to reach Pleasure Bay, right? That's this area right here. Now, Pleasure Bay kind of has this green space right before it, which is really nice. You'll see like a lot of dogs running, a lot of dogs running in the summer, people taking walks. I mean, this is just a beautiful place to walk, bike, run. My running route kind of goes through this area as well when I go out for runs. So you can go right on Pleasure Bay. You got some beaches here as well. Again, you got the green space. And then if you keep going over here, eventually you'll get to Castle Island, which is, of course, very famous. You could take just absolutely beautiful walk there, right in the middle of the water. You can see right here, you can kind of go out, do a little loop around Pleasure Bay. It is a stunning place and awesome for walks. I actually walk there in the summers as well as the winters. It's just one of my favorite places to walk. So that's kind of the east side. One other notable thing you might see about the east side is if we kind of go back here, north of East First, you'll see there's quite a bit of like, there's kind of a like unfilled space on the map, if you will. One really big piece of news that got passed this year, right over here on the corner of Summer Street and East First, it was the old South Boston power plant. And you can kind of see it driving to Southie. Super ugly old building. It actually just got Boston city approval to get it torn down. It's going to be a mega project, and it's going to include community open space, retail, housing, commercial space. Of course, the developers are going to have to do a lot of environmental remediation as well, but that's going to be an awesome project that I think is really going to change that scene around that area. So a lot of people I know are very excited. So that's kind of the east side of Southie. And then if you push right here, as you start pushing north here, that is when you're going to get into the Fort Point and Seaport area. So you can see right here, to get to Fort Point, you have to go up West Broadway and then up A Street, and that's kind of when you'll run into Fort Point. D Street, if you want to go into Seaport, you can go right through D Street right here, and it'll take you right into the heart of the Seaport district. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this video. I've shot videos on both Southie and Seaport. But that both, you can see on the map right here just how close they are to each other. They're I've done that walk from the Seaport to Southie. It could be like a 20-25 minute walk, so really not bad at all. So hopefully that gives you guys an overview of the area. Again, kind of puts things in perspective on how they're how everything lays out on the map. I think that's going to be very helpful for you guys, especially if you're looking at houses or where you want to move. So of course, make sure you combine this with my videos where I actually walk the streets. But if you have any questions, any comments about any of this, make sure to put them in the comments below, and I will definitely help you